What is going on, guys? It is Joe back again talking about the Kansas State Wildcats, and I know I've been gone for a little bit, so first of all, I apologize for that. We've had some family stuff going on, so I've had a little bit of different things to kind of bounce around and take care of, but nevertheless, I am back. I'm back to talk about the Cats, and folks, we've got something great to talk about today that I've been kind of coming to this conclusion a little bit more lately, but especially the last day or two, there is some big news to talk about with Kansas State football. Today's video, if you saw the thumbnail, if you saw the title, we are going to specifically focus on recruiting. There's a big recruiting wave for the future of K-State football, whether that be the class of 2025, 2026, all of it. That's what K-State's here to do. They are making plays in recruiting waves, absolutely finding some good dudes. We're going to talk about specifics. We'll talk about the traveling. We'll talk about everything going on here in a second. But before I do, let me just say, if you like the channel, if you like K-State Athletics, this is the place for you. Be sure and consider subscribing. It takes like 8 seconds of your time, and it does help me out immensely. Also, a quick shout out to Manhattan Brewing Company. They are the sponsors of today's video. We appreciate them. Win or lose, we booze. My friends, if you're going to booze, do it two ways. One, responsibly, and two, at Manhattan Brewing Company. They're the best. They care about K-State. There's some great people over there with some great tasting beer. So be sure and check out Manhattan Brewing Company. But guys, let's start here. We've talked about Linkon Cure, the tight end from Goodland, Kansas, a lot on this channel. I've talked about him, how bad I want to see him in Manhattan. I think he'd be a perfect fit for K-State. This week, there's been a ton of updates, whether it be a quick crystal ball pick from here, or an on-3 selection pick here, or just an update of who's pursuing Linkon Cure. For the last couple of weeks, it sounded like K-State has been the team to beat. If you haven't seen some reports, there's a ton on Twitter, a ton on social media. Be sure and check that out. But this week, things changed. This week, it went from just a growing suspicion of, okay, Linkon Cure is tied to K-State. Goodland, Kansas kid, grew up a K-State fan. He's tied to K-State. More than just that. So there's an update. There's a huge update this week, and I don't want to say that like something major happened or something major changed, but a lot of guys that write for 247 Sports have started logging predictions, their expert predictions, for K-State to land Linkon Cure. Most notably, you've got Steve Wiltfong, who is, that guy's a genie. The dude is Nostradamus when it comes to high school recruiting. He knows what he's talking about. Tom Loy as well. I'm less familiar with his work, but I know he probably does a great job. You can see each of these guys' career predictions too, like how well they've done overall. All-time picks for Steve Wiltfong, he's at a 91% success rate. That is 4,143 out of 4,526. That's the percentage this guy's getting. Now, I know there's thousands and thousands and thousands of recruits, so everybody can do their own thing, but this has been a growing suspicion for a while. With Linkon Cure, he was at the Battle for Miami. I think it's what it's called. It was kind of a 7-on-7 camp for skill position tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks, players that are realistically top 50, top 100, big-time dudes. Linkon Cure's out there, and he visited Miami while he was down there since he was in the area. Miami sent him an offer. But experts started logging their predictions. They started saying, you know what, Linkon Cure, K-State. So whether that means they talked, whether that means there's an update, whether that means some intel broke out, I have no clue. All I know is that is great. Let me talk about this a little bit more in depth. Linkon Cure, and I'll get a quick speed mention because I've talked about it in the past, but he's the 37th ranked player in the country on 247 Sports, the second ranked tight end in his class, and the second ranked player in the state of Kansas. He is an absolute dog. The Avery Johnson to Linkon Cure connection. Think Mahomes Kelsey. Think about all the legendary dudes that realistically are going to go through K-State's tight end room because of a coach like Brian Lepak. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It could be Lepak. That's on me. I apologize. Should have done more research on that one. The dude's a dog. One of the best tight end coaches in the nation. Dudes want to play with this dude. You look at what he did with Ben Sinnott. You look at what he's done with guys like Bebe. You see what he's done with the Bradley Moore and a couple other names that I should bring up, but those are kind of the main three that come to mind. You've got dudes like Garrett Oakley, who I expect Garrett Oakley to have a big year this year. I expect people in this tight end room to continue to put themselves into that conversation of NFL draft picks. Linkon Cure, if you just take him right now, the kid's a first-round draft pick. That's as raw as he's going to be, a first-round NFL draft pick. That's the ability this guy has. The athleticism prepared with the size, the track record. He's done so many great things already in his young career. He has a chance to be that dude, like absolute best tight end in the country. K-State is trending in his way. A bunch of people have placed their picks. A bunch of people have placed different things. But here's the update that I wanted to talk about. How about 7 dudes from K-State's coaching staff flying the PJ out to Goodland, Kansas, going to visit with Linkon Cure? Now, personally, I was having a little bit of a, not even a head-scratcher moment, but like pulling my hair out moment where you see every single person on this list that Matt Wells, Connor Riley, Matthew Middleton, they're visiting a ton of people around the country. Every day I'm sitting there thinking, where's the Linkon Cure post? This is your top target in the class of 2025. When are we going to see the coaches go meet up with him? Today, we saw a tweet from Matt Wells, our new co-offensive coordinator, saying K-State's going big game hunting. And they showed a picture on the private jet with Matt Wells. You saw Connor Riley. You saw Brian Lepak. You saw Coach Kleiman. You saw Matthew Middleton. I apologize if I don't have the picture pulled up, but there's a couple more in the picture as well. I think Taylor Britt's there. There's a couple of different dudes in the picture, but it goes to show how serious this cast is. Like, it's not just send recruiter out. It's not just send tight end coach out. It's not just send coach out. It is look at our staff coming to support a kid that we absolutely think is a perfect fit in Manhattan. That's incredible. That is a great thing to see. I was so pumped to see that today, and I hope that meeting went well because truly, I think this kid is absolutely special. I mean, this is a dude that realistically, you pair him with Avery Johnson, it's just something like, that's a thing of beauty. That is music. That's a symphony. That's the type of player this dude can be, and if K-State can land him, that'd be massive. Now, I wanted to make this video to talk about this because it's more than just Linkon Cure. I shouldn't just focus on Linkon, but there are so many dudes that K-State is going after right now, and like, I know that this is what college football is. This is what recruiting is. You know, you go and you visit people at high school, you go and, you know, control your own roster, you maintain people, you promote, or you recruit through the transfer portal, you have a bunch of different things going on at once. K-State, whether it be Matt Wells or Connor Riley, Matthew Middleton's been on the move, Coach Kleiman himself, obviously Taylor Britt, you've had a bunch of different dudes on the move, on the hunt for the right people. K-State is moving, bro. They are getting around the country. They're going to visit people all across the state, all across Texas. You see the Oklahomas, you see Kansas. Like, I think what I'm starting to notice about the staff, and one thing that I think we'll continue to see come to fruition is there's going to be a wider approach to recruiting. Like, we're going to find guys in states that we haven't been as successful in. And I know, like, a good example of this would be, you know, we struck gold with Will Howard coming from Pennsylvania. That's a far stretch of a state. Your second prospect ever to join was Ryan Howard, his little brother, but with Matt Wells, a Texas guy, former Texas Tech head coach, spent time with Oklahoma, a dude who's widely respected across the industry, going down to a state like Texas and finding dudes that are just absolute beasts that will come to K-State. Like, the state of Texas has been good to K-State, but we've lost a little bit of our impact there because there's so many different schools. You know, there's a TCU, a Texas Tech, Texas, UTEP, UTSA. There's so many schools in that area. Houston's one. I know there's Baylor. There's a ton of different schools you can focus on, but you haven't had as much of a footprint in the state of Texas that you might have liked. K-State has that now with Matt Wells. Connor Riley, another dude I want to mention, because Connor Riley is absolutely the best offensive line coach in America. He has built incredible lines time and time out, and this year's no different. That dude is getting the right people involved. Obviously, he's now co-offensive coordinator. It's not just a situation where he's only the offensive line coach, but you're starting to see that everybody on this staff is not only focused on their own position group, not only focused on the overall defense, the overall offense. It's this whole unit wants to elevate. And I know that's kind of a corny thing to say in the sense that every program does want to elevate. K-State, it feels like they're taking the bull by the horns. I mean, it feels like you're getting after the right people. If you land a guy like Linkon Cure, that's a culture-defining move. Avery Johnson already was a culture-defining move. You pair those dudes together, you have two NFL first-round talents on the same team at the same time, developing together. That's a huge deal. Jace Brown's a stud. You've got so many guys to look through, whether it be all the receiver classes like a Jaquez Bradley-Demps or a guy like Trey Davis. You have so many dudes that we've recruited. It is going to be exciting to see what happens next because K-State seems to be that next team. Like, we're a solid program. We're a great program. We have great players. You develop people in the NFL. Chris Kleiman is a top 10 coach in America. But Kansas State, even when Bill Snyder was here, never got the national respect it deserved in a certain sense because there wasn't that top-of-the-line college football playoff success or that massive win. Obviously, there's a couple of isolated games you can focus on, but where we're at right now, and I like to compare it to basketball a little bit too because K-State is taking the next step as to how it can be for a program. You see that with Chris Kleiman. You've got the best coach in the Big 12. You got one of the best coaches in America. This team is committed to each other. They're committed to getting better. Avery Johnson's the quarterback that's going to take you there. You have a guy like Blake Barnett behind him who's explosive and dynamic and incredible. There are dudes on this roster that I think are going to be NFL players and have super successful careers. K-State is finding ways to not only land those guys, whether it be from the state of Kansas, a.k.a. a Gus Hawkins or Caden Massey, or all the different dudes we landed. Like, it's different just being a developmental program, and it's different than being a top-of-the-line. Like, I don't want to say blue blood, because that term's kind of gotten corny in my eyes, but this team is not focused on surely winning the Big 12. Not just focused on, winning 8 to 10 games. It feels like Kansas State is trending in every single area in the positive. Like, we're heading towards the green in every single spot across the board. Recruiting is the one that I wanted to focus on for this video because you're seeing more and more names pop up on K-State's radar and vice versa. Whether it be transfer portal, whether it be high school guys, it is an exciting time to be a K-State fan. Whether it be basketball, whether it be football, whether it be whatever, this might be the greatest time to be allowed to be a K-State fan. I know we're having we're taking our licks at times in basketball right now. You're having different things happen, but This staff is not going to let K-State be comfortable with being a solid program. The recruiting already shows it. The team already shows it. The players, the talent, the coaching. There's more behind this team, and it all starts with recruiting, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. I'm praying we get a Linkon Cure commitment. I'm shining my cat signal, I should say. Whenever that time comes, I will make a video and update you guys if that time comes, but I cannot wait to see what's next. There's so many dudes to watch for. There's so many players that really can make an impact in Manhattan, and I think there's a lot of guys that are going to come off the board in the next couple of months. So it's about being patient for us, but it's also about expecting success. So maybe that's douchey for me to say, expect success, but with where we're at as a program, I feel like the success is coming. We've put in the groundwork. We've laid the foundation. The payoff is coming slowly but surely. So with that being said, guys, I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about the recruiting update, some different things going on. I know it wasn't a ton of specifics, but I just wanted to get something out there as well as, show you guys that I'm not off the grid completely. We had a lot going on this week in the family, so we had some stuff to focus on, but everything's good. Everybody's okay. We're all right. I'm back in the saddle now. I'm back at home, as you can see, which is a great feeling, and I'm excited to talk Kansas State sports. So I will talk to you guys here soon in the near future. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you're staying warm. It was like sunny and 50 degrees here in Kansas City, so I hope you're getting some of that wherever you're at. But either way, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you in the next one. Go Cats.